tell them who you are. Wear the mask, they won't know if you love them or him or her. I don't believe that love could be a sin. Wanna show you all of me, give you everything. Oh, this is not easy. Yeah, this is not easy. When I'm in bed, I feel warm and safe within her arms. They can't tell me the way I'm living does anyone harm. If there's a God, I'm sure they brought you to me. Wanna show you all of me, give you everything. Oh, this is not easy. Wanna share my love out loud. Let everyone know he's now. Oh, this is not easy. Yeah, this is not easy. Quiet down. Quiet down. They want me to quiet down, but I won't quiet down. Wanna show you all of me, give you everything. Oh, this is not easy. Wanna share my love out loud. Let everyone know here now. Oh, this is not easy. Yeah, this is not easy. Quiet down. Quiet down. They want me to quiet down, but I won't quiet down. I can hear under the marble skies sounds of the children's eyes looking around. Yeah, I'm here trying to criticize songs of the people's minds looking around. Yeah, I can feel your chest through my hand. I can feel your heart beating. It's bleeding. I believe all existence is significant. So what is that you have in your hands full of glass? But we're running after time, but we're all left behind. All I ask is, where do we go now? Oh, beating hearts. When the strongest heart dies and the weak is blinded by lies. All I ask is, where do we go now? Oh, beating hearts.
Alive.
We're live. Hello, everyone. We're listening. I'm Kay.
I'm Alexis.
I'm Jesse, and I'm a little overwhelmed, but we'll be okay, I think.
It's different than your normal intro, Jesse.
Yeah.
Well, on the note of different, we'll be doing things a little bit differently in season 2 for the folks who joined us in season 1. You'll notice things a little different on our lives. But to kick it off, I wanted to know if you all have any resolutions for season 2.
I'll go.
Resolutions.
Resolutions, like
Resolutions.
New Year's resolutions, but it's like we're close enough to the new.
Go ahead.
All right. I don't have like a specific resolution, but I've like before the new year, like I cleaned up a lot of stuff, both like emotionally and physically, and like got a lot of things done, and I just have a renewed drive to like be a complete person and like exercise and take care of myself. I'm starting martial arts again. I'm getting out there doing the dating actually instead of just thinking about it. Um, so just like yeah, it's this is my redemption arc is the way I'm thinking of it.
That is not a resolution for the show, but I'll take it.
No.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
for the show, you weren't specific enough.
I said for season 2.
For season 2, I mean, this is the time of season 2.
Yeah.
I think
Just
yeah,
as you're opening a new season of your life.
I mean, you might go into it later, but for season 2, I'm just gonna choose the songs that I want to choose that I like a lot, and hope other people like them too. That's my season 2 listen in resolution.
I like your personal resolutions too. Those sound very healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I also feel like the personal resolutions in a way affect the show because like Jesse kind of like upgrading himself and being able to fire on all cylinders. I think that's going to affect the Jesse that we get on the show as well. So it's tangentially related in a way. As for my resolutions, I have 2 resolutions for the show. Oh, season 2 as well.
They are to rock on.
They're to rock on. Yeah. First resolution that I have for season 2 would be I really hope that I can accomplish doing a special episode this year because I definitely planned on doing one last year, but we were figuring things out. But I would definitely like to do like a special episode, whether that's like a genre deep dive or a album deep dive. I think there's a challenge there in how one would do that, and I'm excited for that challenge. So hopefully this would be the year for that. So that's a little personal resolution that I have for myself for the show. And the second one is to interact with the community more often. I like seeing the people that come up in the Discord at the very least, and hopefully people get excited for the show and try to reach out to us either in the Discord or social media or whatever and interacting with them. I think the show in and of itself is cool, but getting to interact with people throughout the year, I think that's going to be very exciting. So that's my other resolution, to talk to other people and communicate and spread the love of music with other people and share that with other people as well.
In other words, to rock and on.
To rock on.
I think that like we've had so many conversations behind the scenes about those like special episode genre deep dives or artist deep dives, album listens. Like we've spent so much time talking about all of the different ways that we could do it, and it's just a matter of choosing one.
Yeah.
But I think if anybody listening has any ideas for what they'd want to hear or what they think would be fun to listen to for those kinds of things, we'd want to hear them as well. If not right now, later in our Discord or something. Because I don't know, I feel like I've come up with like 10 different scenarios for each one individually and probably confused the hell out of all of you. My resolution is a little different and less about ambition and more about just having fun and actually enjoying it. You may notice I am not in my closet anymore. I am like sitting on a comfortable bed with like a table in front of me instead of a rolling safe. I roll out from under the clothes every time we record. So that's part of it. I'm like maybe sacrificing audio quality a little bit, but for me to enjoy it more, I think will be more enjoyable to watch. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we get into some songs?
Sure. All right.
Yeah, I feel ready.
All right, Alexis, you're up first. This is where things might get a little bit different, y'all. We're gonna what? Jesse, you want to take over?
The new song screen thing we gotta do. All right, maybe we should explain that a little bit. So
That's exactly what I was gonna do. You go ahead.
okay, so from now recovering
Oh
from
yeah,
COVID.
Jesse's other resolution is to recover from COVID.
Yeah. Anyways, so for season 2, we are no longer gonna be publishing episodes in the YouTube. The full streams will still be available to watch and enjoy in the streaming tab, but in terms of what we're uploading for like our episode videos, we're gonna just do it song by song. We feel like it's gonna just make more sense that way. So in order to make the editing less painful, we're gonna have little cuts of like a visually bright thing that Kay can see if she's editing it. So that'll happen for a few seconds, and then we'll get to actual songing. Here we go. And we're back.
I love it. It's so dramatic, but I love it. All right, are we good to go?
We're good to go.
Cool. All right. Well, if you had been following our social media during the break, chances you might have come across a post that I made, which would have been a spoiler to the song that I brought today. 2021 was a very special year of music for me. I had gone on musical journeys with newfound loves that were some of, if not the deepest connections I've ever had with music in all my life, whether it was through the attachment I had to particular artists and albums, to experiences had at concerts, both virtually and out in the real world. Among those special journeys was the journey that I got to take that year alongside the artist Former Hero, through the companionship I was given from their debut album Footpaths. If you know me, you know this story quite well already. This is yet another album that I randomly chose to listen to on a whim with no prior idea of who or what it was. I just saw the artwork, thought it was pretty, saved it to my library to listen to at work, and the rest is history. My love for the album set in right from the beginning, as the core sounds in Former Hero's music totally matches some of my personal favorite sounds of music. It's vibrantly dancey, unabashedly EDM at some points, and with songwriting that had so much charm for me with its very poignant and intimate lyrics, raw vocal delivery, energetic and twinkling guitar melodies with crescendos into hardcore adjacent breakdowns as well, that it all really resonates personally a lot to me with the special love and affinity I have for emo sounds and aesthetics like that. But who is Former Hero? What you need to know is that Mike is from the United Kingdom, who gave up their life as a crime-fighting superhero to be the producer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist in his music project. Perhaps my soul twin, as it appears we both share an unhealthy love of all things pink. I suppose we'll have to have a conversation and see where we align on things like flamingos, the most diversive and the most divisive opinions when it comes to pink. Mike shares through the liner notes in the vinyl for Footpaths that this album began in 2018, and there was no expectations for what it would be or what he sought out to achieve with it, creatively or as a product. It all sounded like the hallmarks of a true passion project, going in there for the sake of the creative journey and outlet. The music speaks for itself, with its intensely emotional songs that Former Hero has crafted to tell stories capturing his significant moments of blissful and bittersweet life experiences. And it was on these grounds where I was able to make such a deep and personal connection with the album, and how it remained a significant part for the better half of the year that it stayed a musical companion for me. There were several songs that I feel would provide a blissful and emotional hit that there would have not been a bad choice when picking a song to bring. And I ended up deciding on the song Foxgloves because I wanted to bring something with nonstop feel-good energy. Let's get the party started. Enjoy.
We talk about foxgloves. We talk about foxgloves. We talk about foxgloves. We talk about foxgloves planted in row, and all the while I'll ignore the problem. I'll get so drunk I can barely make it home. I need your help, but I can't ask, so we talk about foxgloves planted in row, and all the while I'll ignore the problem. I'll get so drunk I can barely make it home. I need your help, but I can't ask, so we talk about foxgloves planted in row, and all the while I'll ignore the problem. I'll get so drunk I can barely make it home. I need your help, but I can't ask, so we talk about foxgloves slurring my words. All this beauty just makes me worse. I'll get so drunk I don't wanna go home. I know I'm leaving soon, so we talk about foxgloves.
Woo! What a ride.
Mm,
That was
Yeah.
such a banger, but like so euphoric.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
That's definitely his energy.
Oh man, I love it.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this episode for a long time actually. Cuz I love doing the show, and I know we had a break, and that meant inevitably that we're going to start again, and there's that thought process is like, okay, well, what are we going to do for the first episode? And I didn't know what I wanted to start with, and then during the break, I did do a tweet about this. I did end up receiving the vinyl for this album, and it was actually a crowdfunded project, so it's not like something that you could just go to like an online store and purchase. Like, it was all crowdfunded, and it's limited supply, so the people who crowdfunded are the ones that got the copy of the vinyl. So when it came, I was like so excited, and I was like so happy. Like, I was like, it like reinvigorated my love for this album, that I was like, you know what, I gotta definitely like, honor this feeling that I got from this surprise. So I was like, I'm gonna make Former Hero my first episode pick of the year. I think like it really set the tone for the energy that I was bringing into the new year, because it was like at the end of like December when that all happened. So I wanted to carry that feel good energy into the beginnings of this year and the first episode. So I've been looking forward to this, and very honored to have been able to get the first song for the year in the episode. And yeah, I'm just really glad that I was able to share it.
Yeah. Speaking of
like I'm
energy,
listening.
like I it's so interesting to me. Like, it's kind of high energy but chill at the same time.
Uh-huh.
It's like sped up Dreamwave, sort of.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the sounds that are being chosen, and like the sort of washed out quality of his voice. But as to the sounds themselves, like I was very impressed by just how crafted it seemed every individual sound is. Like, even some of those pops, like there's like a strong hit and then like a fade, but like they're like lots of little ones, like, so that happens very quickly in like a
Yeah.
rapid amount of time, but you can still hear like the little fades in between, which is like really satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sorry, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, but I'm not
Okay.
sneezing. So like if I suddenly cut out, it's because I hit mute really quick. It I lost my train of thought. Oh, it made me want to create, like, it's inspired me to create like a going on walks playlist, because like that's the
Oh.
energy I want when I'm like walking past pretty
Uh-huh.
scenery. Like I want something to propel me forward, but something that like makes me feel like I'm also entering another realm at the same
Mhm.
time.
Right.
And it felt like it really would be great for that kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be starting a walking playlist, and that will be the first one on it.
Cool. Awesome. I love this idea, and um, I fully encourage you to check out more songs from this album, at the very least to possibly, find something that you might want to add to it, because I think like a lot of the songs on this album really do fit that sort of energy, that um, vibe of like walking into like a new realm, because it seems like that's a big thing in terms of what he tries to do with his songs. It feels like you are entering some other place, and that other place does feel like it accompanies walking very, very well. So yeah, check out some other songs from the album, I think.
It actually felt like the song itself was like traveling through realms in some ways. Like I was really surprised by the section where we got more lyrics and more singing. I didn't expect it to come in. I was glad to hear it, and I thought it added a lot of dimension to the song that it would have been hard to sort of, like, sometimes the beat boops, for lack of better words, sometimes the beat boops can kind of like meld together in my brain and all kind of sound the same. So getting that break into that vocal bit was really, really nice to have a little break.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved the lyrics adding that emotional content as well. Like a little bit of narrative is really appreciated in any song, but like I feel like a lot of EDM songs just like don't care about emotional connection or narrative. They're just like generic
Yeah.
lyrics that sound nice, but like it's like what does it mean? Nothing really.
Right.
And the beginning I had in my notes before we got to that break with like the narrative lyrics. Do they ever talk about foxgloves? Turns out they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we actually get the resolution to that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd still like it even if the lyrics were nonsense, but I'm not a lyric listener, so there's that.
Yeah, to kind of go back to what Jesse mentioned earlier as well, how this song is like really packed with a lot of like very nuanced layers. I think that's something that I have found to like really love about this album. That sort of quality isn't just on this song; it's in his entire craft as a artist in general. And I've listened to this album so many times, and just for point of reference, this was my second favorite album of the year when it came out. It was only behind Porter Robinson's Nurture, which is like hand in hand, very much the same sort of album. It's very emotional EDM sort of stuff. So it was kind of funny how that worked out. That both my number one and my number two albums of the year were just very spiritually similar. But I listened to this album so many times, and something that I really appreciate is how I can like vividly recall just the smallest like sound details, and there's so many conscientious choices that he makes, like the way that he processes his vocals to give an effective terms of like how far away he might be, or is this like a sound effect to give this feeling like maybe it's an inner voice speaking rather than him himself kind of like saying these lines, or just like these really small like sound details of like like at the beginning of this song, during like the first verse, like something that I tend to like focus on now just because I listen to the song so much is that there's like this like really hazy kind of like um hazy sort of I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like this sort of like distorted layer that's happening, and it's just like um supporting the sounds above it, the melodies and the bleep bloops. Um and yeah, there's just like so much there to like point out that it feels like, to go back to like what Kay was saying, it almost feels like this very deliberate other world rather than just like these are music elements. And I really appreciate that because like it's on every single song. Like there's these really small elements that really make it feel like they were so conscientious that I feel like I'm being invited on purpose to this world that he is thinking about and creating as a musical landscape. So yeah.
On
I'm
the
glad you mentioned
Genius, oh, that.
I'll fight you for it. You go first.
Okay. I lose the fight. I go first. On the Genius lyrics site, it says that the song is about being drunk and trying to talk about random things to convince other people that you're not drunk.
Uh-huh.
Which I'm not 100% like. I feel like there's room for interpretation, but like if that's
Yeah.
true, like I think the vocal delivery sounds very in character for that, like a little
Mhm.
disaffected, unattached, kind of a little slurry here and there.
Yeah.
And I think it does, like you talk about like going to another place with the song, but it could also be like an altered state. I think is another way to think about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that, and that never crossed my mind. Despite there is definitely like some mention in the song, about getting drunk and things like that. But it never crossed my mind, and that is a really entertaining, take to possibly have this narrative journey to go on whenever you listen to the song. It definitely changes the character, which is cool.
I was going to say it's really memorable. Today is actually the first time I heard it because I didn't listen ahead this week. And it's still playing back in my head despite how only having that one listen, which I think is really difficult to do, especially for something that is so beat boopy. Like it's so many manufactured sounds that you don't feel like there would be a lot of melody, but there still is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think his one of his strong suits is melody, and you think of like EDM music and you think of like what is memorable. Usually it's the two most obvious things, the vocal hook or the melody. But there's just something like so like really charming about the way that he uses instrumental melodies, and that they're like infectious and catchy, but very memorable, like what you're saying. And something about it just feels uncharacteristically not EDM. The types of melodies that he makes, because like they kind of just like stick to me after I listen to them. And I think that's one of the cool things about this album is that like when I think about the album, just like when I'm not listening to it, a thing that sticks out to me is the melodies that like represent the album. And I think that's a really cool thing, that this unspoken sort of quality of the music is what stands out as like a strong like connection in terms of like memory for the music. So yeah, if you like the melody for this song, I have a feeling like there's going to be other melodies if you do check out the other songs, that's going to like just stick in your head because he has like some sort of magic when it comes to that.
I'll definitely be listening to the whole album this week.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
A quick aside, we're kind of in the song right now because we're talking about foxgloves.
We are. I didn't even realize that.
Punching gloves? Or boxing?
Oh no, Kay's gonna beat
Oh
me up.
no. Those darn foxes.
All right. Anything else about um, the artist?
Yeah. So, well, first things first, Mike, if you're out there, you know, if you've gone back to your, life of fighting crime, best of luck with that. But truly, thank you for like the music that you feel, is important to create and to share with us. And I hope that we get more. So thank you very much for, bringing that into all our lives. And other than that, if you like what you heard today, I can't recommend the album enough. Footpaths. It's a beautiful and magical journey that is both parts emotional but blissful and euphoric. You really can't go wrong. Just pick something random and you'll enjoy it. It starts off with like it's like the bookends are so interesting that it starts off with two songs that are like 4 minutes, and you're like, okay, those are bite sized, and then it ends on two songs that are 8 minutes. So it's like you got your bite sized stuff, you got your epic stuff. And yeah, check out his SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/former hero. And you can, see what he's up to there, as well as all his other socials as well, if you want to check out what he's doing. Other than that, that's going to be Former Hero for today.
I'm still jamming to it in my head.
Yeah. All
We're back
right.
again.
Hello, we are LISTENiN, the music appreciation podcast and live stream. The song that I'm about to share is by a band that we've mentioned before a few times on the podcast, the Aces. They are an American alternative pop band from Provo, Utah, made up of guitarist Katie Henderson, bassist McKenna Petty, and sisters Alyssa Ramirez and on drums and Crystal Ramirez on lead vocals and guitar. They were the opening act for 5 Seconds of Summer on their Meet You There tour, and recently had a North American tour of their own. It is important to note that 3 of the 4 members of the band are queer, and while most of their songs intentionally avoid the use of gendered pronouns entirely, one of their biggest songs, Kelly, is explicitly queer in its lyrics, and it's a banger. So, like, if you like the song that I'm about to share with you, check that out too. Oh,
Jesse,
yes.
you need to swap out the Spotify
No.
picture.
Not yet.
There we go. Continue.
No. I couldn't find it, and then I remembered I have a button on my phone to do it for me. Anyways. Sorry, trying not to die too at the same time.
It's the COVID recovery interruption issue. Yeah.
I blame every mistake that I make in this stream on the COVID. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Valid.
As for today's song, I'm very, very excited to share it today. I thought a lot about what I'd bring for the first episode, the first sharing of this year. And to me, the song that I'm bringing really represents the spiritual core and the beginnings of the LISTENiN podcast. Around the beginning of 2020, I checked the logs. Kay shared this song on the singing Discord that the 3 of us are members of, and that's how we met, through that Discord. And when she shared it, I instantly fell in love with it and listened to it on repeat for probably a few weeks straight. It was one of those hard-driving, catchy, feel-good bops that could keep me going, even though things were rough in my work and personal life at the time. And after Kay posted, I started discussing it with her, asking her if she had any more songs like it, and sharing with her the songs that she might like that I thought had a similar sort of energy. And at the time, we didn't really know each other that well. I already had a lot of respect for her as a musician and as someone who is really important in our community. But going back and forth with the music, I really felt like I got to know her better as a person and not just as like a community authority. Later on, when Kay yeah, later on when Kay came up with the idea for this podcast, she thought back to those conversations, I suppose, and tapped on me to be a co-host, and here we are today. So without further ado, here is Daydream by the Aces. Here we go.
Daydream about me, and I know that you hit the nuts without me. Baby, I hate them too. But you know, I'm coming back to you. Midnight, my heart is racing. We're wide awake in this hotel room. We only got 6 hours, but sleep don't matter when I'm with you. So just hold on to the memory of me riding in your front seat every day. And I'll hold on to the smell of your sweater that you wore in December when we met. Daydream about me, and I know that you hit the nuts without me. Baby, I hate them too. But you know, I'm coming back to you. Daydream about me, and I know that you hit the nuts without me. Baby, I hate them too. But you know, I'm coming back to you. Midnight, your voice is shaking. You're losing patience, so far away. But you know that I'd rather run away with you. Forget about the things that we gotta do. Oh, I would rather be at home with you right now. So just hold on to the memory of me riding in your front seat every day. And I'll hold on to the smell of your sweater that you wore in December when we met. I gotta go right now until the end. Daydream about me, and I know that you hate the nights without me. Baby, I hate them too. But you know, I'm coming back to you. Daydream about me, and I know that you hate the nights without me. Oh, baby, I hate them too. But you know, I'm coming back to you. Oh.
So we're back from our daydream. How you feeling about this, Bob?
I'm sad it ended. I was jamming.
Every
Banger.
time. That's why I repeat it so much when I listen to it. I just want more.
It's cleverly written like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is short, and I mirror the sentiment of Kay of wanting more. But something that I do realize is like, yes, it's short, but like it feels like there's nothing you could add to the song. I'm thinking about like the conception of this song, and it literally feels like you can't add more to the verses. You can't add more to the chorus. There's nothing you can like really add. Like it almost feels like if I were to like ask them, like how like do they feel about like what it was like to wrap up this song. I have a strong feeling that they would think like they are like 100% happy with it, and there's like nothing that would change, because like I've done some, creative projects of my own, and even things that I'm like really satisfied with, there's always that lingering feeling of like, maybe there's something missing or something, maybe I could like do a little tweak or something, but like it really feels like everything is just like absolutely getting the job done of like what needs to be done. And like, yeah, even though it's short, like I enjoy my stay in the song, and like there's like not much I could really desire. Like it is a perfect song from start to finish.
Yeah, I think it's kind of ironic now that you mentioned that in my mind, if they like because the song structure is pretty standard, they stick a chorus in the front, but besides that, it's like the typical like
Hmm.
verse, chorus, bridge, blah blah blah. But I think if they stuck more stuff in there, it would feel like the pacing was off
Hmm.
and like it would be too long. And yet, like even though it would feel too long if they stuck more in it, like I'm still repeating it when it's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
you almost just want a whole song again.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that it is like standard structure, but they do a really excellent job of building up that chorus every time it comes so
Hmm.
that you get more echoes, or you get more little sounds in the background, or you get more vocal harmonies. Like it really builds itself so well that while you're repeating that chorus, it never feels like you're repeating that chorus. So I feel like
Hmm.
that's part of why it can loop, because you feel like, oh, now I want to hear that first chorus again. I want to hear how they do it the first way again. It's almost
Hmm.
like you can't add any more. You just have to like take yourself on the journey again.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I clearly love this song, or I wouldn't have shared it in the first place.
Hmm.
But I feel like it's a present for me today. I got to kind of choose two songs.
You did. Um, Something I think that contributes to the catchiness is I think there's just like a lot of viscerally enjoyable little moments or sounds that happen in throughout the song. Like before every verse, there's like a drum hit, like dude, and then she starts singing, and before every chorus, there's like like the drum
Hmm.
fill, which are really fun for me. And like even just the way during the pre-chorus, like she hangs on those syllables, and kind of stretches them. It's like she's very conscious of the fact that her voice sounds good right now, and she's just making it more. um, and then even like little things of like auto tune that are like add like little trills, like kind of like the Share Believe little ditty stuff.
Hmm.
But um I really love how it's like gotta go right now until the end, and then like that the end at the end is just like oh yes, more of that. uh,
I think the vocal delivery is more of that variation. That one thing that the vocalist in this group is really, really great at is like alternating or just changing up the way that she's delivering words and syllables and lines. And the song is such a great example of it. You do have those like elongated parts in the pre-chorus where she's like much more legato, you would say, in a musical context. But then you get to the chorus and she's like daydream without me. It's like very very separated staccato, you would say. Like it's got all of that flavor in there, that not only does she have just a really pleasant voice to listen to, she's using it in so many different ways that it helps drive that song forward and bring you through sort of the journey that is the song.
Hmm. I have a couple of things that I've written down, and I'm trying to figure out which one would be the best to kind of transition into.
two.
Just go for one.
Pick the second one.
Pick it at random. No, you mean two. We only
Two.
count two like this.
So something that I did notice was because we're talking about like the song structure and what we latch onto and how we want more and things like that. Something that did stand out to me was like how much the intro chorus did not feel like the chorus. Because like when you listen to the chorus during, after the verse, like you're like, okay, we're here at the chorus. And when I listened to the song again and realized that the song starts with the chorus, something about it just does not feel like a chorus. It feels like it serves both purposes really well. It serves as like a good introduction to the song, but at the same time, once you're familiar with the chorus, it also feels like a chorus. Because when it's happening as a chorus, it feels like a chorus. But when it's happening as an intro, it feels like an intro. It's like, it was really crazy. It's like Schrodinger's cat, but like in musical form. Is the cat alive? Is the cat not alive? You just gotta look. That's like something that was like really interesting to me. And for me, like another thing with the intro that was really interesting was also that there was a bit of like a bass fake out. I'm not sure if like this is something that y'all caught on to, but in the intro, the core instrumentation that's happening is like two guitars that are, one's kind of like doing like a melody line, or not a melody line, it's kind of doing like accompaniment, and another is doing like a bass melody. And when I was listening to this, I was like, oh, that's definitely not a bass guitar doing that bass melody. And I thought that this was trying to set us up to expect that the electric guitar is going to do this sort of like bass duty of giving us the bass melody, because typically in like dancier songs, usually the bass isn't doing anything very bassy or very active in terms of a bass, and what it's normally doing is it's following the rhythm of the kick pattern, and it's usually just doing the root notes and stuff like that.
You might say it's normally very basic.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. Nice. Starting off the year strong with the first pun and also the first guitar solo with this song. So
True.
yeah, so this song is doing quite a lot for the year. But yeah, mostly in these songs, usually the bass is kind of like mimicking the rhythm of the bass kick, and it's usually just doing like sustained notes and things like that. So when we were getting the electric guitar doing like the bass line, I was like, okay, well, it sounds like that's what the bass is going to be doing. It's going to be following the bass kick probably, and the guitar is going to do the bass line. But no, when the verse comes in, we actually get a very active bass line, and it's so groovy. So that little bass fake out sort of thing, this sort of setup of like, hey, we're probably not going to get a bass line, but we actually do get the bass line when the verse drops. I thought that was really, really cool. Probably not intentional. Probably it's just me with like my sort of expectation as like, oh, I think like we're not going to get a bass, but we do. So it was really cool.
I think it's pretty intentional. I don't know if it was like intentionally a fake out, but like I do think that opening chorus like is a little barer than like the chorus when it comes back in, and I think that's probably like I hadn't identified the technical thing that was making it barer in my head, like thinner, but like that would explain it, like not having a bass in there,
right?
And I thought that I think that's really effective. Yeah, not
It's
making
like
it
they
like.
said. It's like they took "Don't Bore Us," get to the chorus, and made it art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, we can do that, but only if we can make it sound real badass. No, I don't think I had thought that hard about what to expect maybe when I listened to this song, but now I'm going to listen more closely to the bass.
Yeah, the bass goes definitely on a journey, because like in the middle portions of the songs, the bass is definitely kind of mimicking like what we hear as a bass line from the intro, and then like on like the final chorus, the bass is doing a little bit of half and half. Like it's kind of doing the bass line from the intro, but like at the same time doing like these little spursed out moments of like sustained notes. So it's really cool if you pay attention to at least the bass. Like the bass is going to definitely like catch you off guard with like the directions it goes. There's probably a lot more here that is kind of like under the surface that's really cool, but I did pay attention to the bass and was really pleasantly surprised at like the thoughtfulness that's going on there.
Alexis is a McKenna stan. Is that what you're telling me?
McKenna.
That your bias.
Oh yeah,
You're the
totally.
Aces bias.
Yeah, I have all the posters, the photo cards, everything.
After hearing this one song.
Yeah. Yep. It's funny, but it's funny that you mentioned this because after learning about McKenna and like how incredible she is, like I feel like they should change their name to the Bases.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for our second pun.
Too good.
But it was such a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like I'm missing out on the puns, but like I can throw a wild card out there.
Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha. I gotcha.
You're just not feeling like the Joker today. It's okay.
No.
Why do people stay here?
For our excellent sense of humor, of course.
Anyways, sorry, audience. That's about it. Like for me, there's a lot to listen to. There's so many layers that are really enjoyable, I think, on their own. And like Alexis mentioned, and putting them together is just like magical for me. Anyone else got anything?
No, I feel like this is the kind of song where like there is so much to listen to, but I almost don't want to pick it apart because I feel like it'll start to ruin the magic for myself. I realize not everybody has that experience, and I'm not suggesting you shouldn't. But like for me, I never want to think too hard about this song because I don't want to hear past that perfection.
Right.
Yeah.
I think like go ahead.
I actually, for prepping for this episode, because I'd listened to this so many times, it was really hard for me to like sit down and be like, what is technically going on here? Because I just like want to feel it and like listen to it and kind of like half space out, but just like enjoy the feelings that it's giving me.
That's valid too. We can do that here. The answer is what's technically going on here? A banger.
End of discussion. Okay.
Really good band.
Yeah, I think like the final little standout thing that I wanted to bring up is I really like the personal anecdote that you shared with like how the song was introduced to you, but like also the significance it has to you with the show and with Kay and everything. And when I think about that, it makes me realize, hey, I'm part of that server. I totally didn't listen to the song when Kay shared it. I totally missed out, and I feel like I've really been sleeping on the Aces for a long time. But like also that I'm a terrible friend, and I didn't listen to the song that you recommended. I'm sorry, but
it might have been before you joined.
Oh, okay, that was a while ago then.
If it wasn't before you joined, it was like when you were in a quieter phase in the server.
True. Okay.
We've shared other songs, Alexis.
That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally dig like what I'm listening to right now, and like I know that the fervor that the both of you share for this band is very, very extreme, and it's always had me like really excited to check them out. Yeah, and having this as like my first experience, like it solidifies and confirms these feelings that I've been missing out, and I want more. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and thank you.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to know more about them, their website has all of their socials and their tour dates and all that jazz. So check them out. I recommend it. They've got quite a catalog of really good songs that I think you'll enjoy, and also some remixes that I like and Kay doesn't always like, but it is what it is. But the originals are great. Anyways, yeah.
Alexis is not paying attention.
I am. I'm just
We're
trying to look at the chat.
Okay, that's fair.
Was the chat talking the entire time?
Yes.
Oh, because I've been like sending messages and like it's only just my messages, and I was like, okay.
Oh, that's weird.
That's a YouTube.
You've been trying to chat.
Did my messages go in?
I haven't seen any from you.
The last thing I got from you was dabs.
Okay, yeah, that was when Jesse was sneezing, and I was like, you got to dab to. Okay, but yeah, I've been missing out on the conversations. I apologize. But anyways.
Are you in the right chat now?
Yeah, I'm in the right chat. I can see everything.
Okay, we can cut this from the actual episode. Sorry to everybody watching right now, live with us. Okay. I forgot what I was supposed to do. Hold on. This is part of having fun. I'm winging it, guys. I did not write down like words in sentences today, so we're seeing how it goes. If you're just tuning in with us, we are listening to some music today, and the song that I've brought to share with you all is by an artist called Bob Love. That's BXB, pronounced like Bob the Builder, she says on all of her social media. Bob Love is originally from Canada, but currently located in Los Angeles, making absolute bangers and a lot of TikToks. I will say, I found this music on TikTok just by sheer luck. I tend to go through and scroll for hours and lose track of time. But every time I hear a song that I'm like, wow, that sounds like it could be really cool, and I want to hear more of that artist, or like, I'm kind of curious about that, I save it. And occasionally I go back and I make a big playlist on Spotify, and then I later get back to that playlist and I listen to all of the things. And Bob Love's December 2021 debut mixtape called Consistently Inconsistent was one of those things that I thankfully dropped on my playlist to listen to and check out. Bob Love says that Consistently Inconsistent is named that way because she didn't want to pin herself to just one sound or genre. And that's actually something that other people in the industry have said is a possible flaw for this artist, that they don't know what to do with her. They don't know who to market Bob Love to, who to market this music to, or what to expect from future releases. And I disagree. I think that makes an artist really interesting. I think it makes it fun to listen to albums. And to me, Consistently Inconsistent, both in the name and in the mixtape itself, is Bob Love staying true to herself and her vision for the ever-changing music. She said in interviews that it's really important to grow and change with the music that she's making. So personally, I'm a fan off of this album, I'm a really big fan of the songs Matrix and Ice-T, and then the song we're going to listen to today called Venus and Gemini. And I will say I had a really hard time choosing between the three of those, so I wanted to mention on the front end to check all three out. Oh no, Alexis is a cat.
Meow. I don't know what's going on.
You're looking for the phone. Where'd you put the phone, Alexis?
It's still here. It's didn't go
all right,
anywhere.
Well, we'll let Alexis keep being a cat while I keep making up an intro. I will give a warning. This song does have some explicit-ish language, some curse words like in the chorus. So if you are listening right now and there are small children around you, you may not want to hear, or you're at work and you don't have headphones in, maybe put headphones in. That's all I have. Let's check out Bob Love. Again, that's BXB, Love, and her song Venus and Gemini.
I'm banging at these four walls. See, I've been waiting around for your call lately. Got used to walking my ass around the block. Yeah, I was into teasing on the job. Temporary love. Instead, I'm spending all my days inside and deleting all the numbers from the other guys I've been fucking with for your love. Am I coming around to your love? I can't work it out. Thinking it was all just a game. Yeah, I love when we're playing. Ain't one to stay for the small talk. Me and my capricious heart, we don't get very far. Let's forget about it. Can't forget about it. You got me coming around every night. Said, how'd we get like that? My indecision, she fucks like a Gemini. Can't keep her hands to herself.
What's the verdict?
Woo! It's so fun. To me, it has a very similar energy to the last song, Daydream. Um, uh, and that's a great thing. I can always do with more of that. And similarly, I had a really hard time taking notes on this one because I just wanted to experience it the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm back. Yeah, there was a lot of continuity here today with sounds and vibes and moods. Good collection of songs, and I definitely like really enjoyed kind of just this journey, this musical journey that we crafted today, and not planned. So it was really cool how that worked out. So this was a great choice, and thank you for bringing it and choosing this one in general. For those who are so curious, it is in fact not Venus and Gemini right now. Right now it's Venus and Pisces, which, from what I understand, means that romantic energies are very intense right now. So if you know you have someone in your eye, whether that's a romantic partner or maybe a new love like Bob Love, it's probably a match made in heaven, and now is a perfect time for that.
Thank you for confirming that. I'm sorry I didn't wait until Venus was in Gemini to bring this song.
Yeah.
I did think when I was choosing it that, oh yeah, this kind of like feels like a similar vibe to Daydream. And then I just kind of shrugged it off and I was like, I don't actually care. We're just going to jam out. So I'm glad that we saw that as a good thing.
Yeah. I think like just the overall like energy of the day today, like really sealed it for me. I'm really happy with all these songs.
It's a very positive week. Somebody from the chat said, super catchy. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Germe. I'm going to continue to read all of your names exactly the way that they are spelled, and you won't convince me to do otherwise. So super catchy, giving me Licky Lee vibes. Is that how you pronounce that?
That's, as far as I know, that's how it's pronounced.
Which is an artist I haven't checked out, so I'm going to have to.
She's, yeah.
And then somebody else, whose name I would rather not mispronounce, but I am going to mispronounce it, and I'm sorry. Lizeth? It's not important, says, I love her voice, and I do too. But that actually brought up a good thing that I wanted to say. What did you say?
It's important.
Oh, I meant not the name, but the important thing was the comment that was left. And then I could move forward. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to butcher your name on purpose. I am not good at that. But I think that's a good thing to bring up, because something I think is really interesting about Bob Love is how they use their voice just a little bit differently in every song. I think her tone is really good in all of them, but her voice here doesn't sound exactly the same that it sounds in Ice-T or in Matrix. And I actually really like that variety. It's not like super different. You're not like, who is that? That's a different singer. It's not that drastically different, but I really think that they use their tone to set the mood and give the story that they want to tell for each song.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool. I'll definitely have to check out more of her, but it makes me think about like, as someone who makes music, like of course I've had fantasies of like being a professional musician and all that jazz. But the thing is if I was a musician that was like on a professional level, I would kind of want to be doing what Bob Love is doing, because to me, I would get super bored making the same sort of stuff over and over again. Like you think about like Audio Slave or Nickelback, and like these just sound the exact same on every single song and album, and it's like, how do you keep doing that for like decades? I understand that pays the bills, right? But like mentally, spiritually, emotionally, that would be really difficult for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think we see artists grow their sound over time, like Taylor Swift being a huge example of it, starting in much more of the pop country world and working her way to pop to like folk. But I think that what's interesting about Bob Love is that, I mean, it's literally, she calls it a mixtape, not an album, because the songs are so different from one another. There's definitely like a through line of style, and it definitely has a similar personality. But like the each song has its own sound and its own I don't want to go so far as to say genre, they're all different genres. It's not like you're reading country on one and pop on the other. But I think that's what it makes it a little bit more different for Bob Love than maybe for other artists who grow their sound over time. But I love that variety. It made it really interesting to listen to the whole album, but it did make it very difficult to choose a song to bring today, because I was like, which version of Bob Love do I want to share?
Right.
And to be honest, I went with the one with the most listens, because I figured it probably has like the widest range of interest to other people that would be interested in hearing more from her.
Yeah, I share a very similar struggle today with which song I wanted to bring from Former Hero as well, because there is, for the most part, a very consistent thing going on with Former Hero, but I think like something that really stands out for him compared to other like people in his sort of space of music is that he definitely has this really interesting tie-in with like rock musicianship, and I was like, do I pick something that showcases that side of him more, because I think that's like what would be like a really attention grabbing thing, or do I pick something that's like more immediately affecting, even though it's pretty straightforward and like how very EDM it is. And you know, I ended up picking the one that I felt like would make a really good first impression. So yeah, I had a very similar struggle with you, but I really enjoyed this song, and I think like the whole marketability of this artist, you know, I feel like we probably solved it just in this episode. Like, she works very well with the Aces. Like, if people can fall in love with the Aces, why can't people fall in love with Bob Love? You know?
I don't think that's how the music industry works. But
Well,
I like
that's how it should.
What I'm hearing is that like they need to tour together, and Bob Love needs to open for the Aces, which would be incredible.
Yeah,
and I would absolutely go see that show.
Yeah, I feel like all
I would
these
go
people.
see either of them, but
Yeah, I feel like all these
together, even
people
better.
are like overcomplicating this. Like, oh, we can't market her. Who can we market Bob Love to? But it's like, just market it to people who like the Aces. There you go.
This song at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, Jermet says aced it in the chat. I felt like I needed to acknowledge that we're not the
Yes,
only ones
yeah.
punning.
Nice.
Jerma also had a comment that he likes the little fun vocal techniques she uses throughout, and it definitely adds personality and variance in her voice, which I like 1,000% agree with. Like there's a lot of little inflections that she does that adds like sass and personality, and like
Yeah.
even the like 80s like sounds are like really fun sort of punctuating marks in the song.
Those moments are moments I always feel like would be really fun to watch on stage.
Yeah.
Like that is probably such a great energy song
Yeah.
for the stage, and I would love to see it live. Sorry, continue.
And if that was the point, but if I have to continue, I will make a second
No.
point.
I interrupted you.
And I think like there's a lot of just really, this is another song where there's a lot of intentional decisions that were made that make it more enjoyable. I was really enjoying the dynamics of the song as a whole, that there's a lot of like building and fading in the energy levels. And then sometimes it's just like hits hard. Like one thing I especially liked was that sort of washed out pre-chorus, which if you look at the lyrics in that part, it's like she's trying to emotionally distance and like deny her feelings, and then it comes back in with the very last line of the pre-chorus, can't forget about it, and it's like fully present, and it's like, oh no, I can't distance myself, I'm here. And then the chorus comes in and it's like bam.
Also,
Yeah.
bonus points for using the word capricious in a song. In the pre-chorus,
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I absolutely love that. Like that was actually the very first note that I wrote when I was listening to the song. I was like, capricious, nice.
Yeah.
And not only do I like the fact that she used it, but that it's used in a place where it's like really important because it's a repetitive section of the song. It's not like she used it for like a to add detail to like a verse and then you're never gonna hear it again. No, it's a recurring part. So we got to hear capricious intentionally used to stick out, which was really cool. I loved it, and maybe a reach here. I don't know, but like I wonder if like the usage of capricious is like, I don't know, alluding to like Capricorn, because maybe there's like some sort of like zodiac stuff going on with the song.
Etymology of the word capricious.
She really
so
likes
I'm-
Capri Sun. That's what.
There we go. We figured it out.
I do think it's a really satisfying sounding word in that moment too. It's like not only a fun word to hear in a song, it just like it fits the line really well, which I am not a lyric person, but if the lyrics are distracting to me, then I have a problem. So that's where like I was thankful to hear that it just blended through the line so well. Yeah. I think one thing I love about this song is that it feels like you can vibe with it. I'm not going to say what I always say, which is, oh, you can vibe with it, but it's also a lot to listen to. No, it feels like you can vibe with it, but like Jesse was saying, that energy is like going up and down and up and down. And I think that it's the instrumentation that allows it to do that. Like, even when things feel like they're going kind of hard and like you're getting much more of a rock sound, there aren't like overwhelming cymbals. You're not getting like big bass drum kicks. You're like getting some more distorted guitar sound that's kind of building up. But it never kind of goes full blast.
Yeah.
And that allows it to get that energy of that like rockier sound without becoming something that distracts you from the rest of the song.
Yeah. You go.
Go ahead.
Hey,
I was
Fight.
No, I refuse. I was gonna take the conversation to another direction. So if you were going to,
oh, okay. I'll comment then. On that, like I think every time there's a transition, though, even if it's a part we've heard before, like another verse or another chorus, the instrumentation is a little different every single time, which is really fun as well, because there's always, even if you're simultaneously looking forward to something that you enjoyed the last time you heard it, and then surprised when there's changes in it, which is really fun.
That's such a cool point.
Yeah.
Alexis,
and
what were you gonna say?
I also like really like that we took some time to point out her voice or what she's doing with it, because that's something that I took a lot of notes on, and in particular, I was really fascinated and interested with like the way that she changed things up on the second verse. Like the second verse is so different from the first verse. The first verse in and of itself is such a cool thing because like it's an extended verse because it goes on for like twice. It's phrased twice as long for a verse, and the second half of that extended verse at the beginning, that second half feels like a pre-chorus, and I was really amazed at how she made the extended verse sound like a pre-chorus, but then the pre-chorus sounds very much like a pre-chorus, and it didn't feel like it was excessive or redundant. So the first verse is like super interesting in that regard, and like its length and its execution, but also I like what she does like rhythmically. There's like these rhythmic hooks that happen in the first verse that I would attempt to give an example, but now my memory is not like really pulling it out. But there are moments that like there's these repetitive rhythmic hooks that she does in the first verse to kind of glue it all together. And then the second verse, like it's like this rapid delivery. It's almost rap like, there's like no resemblance to the first verse. And the only resemblance that they share is that there is like these repetitive rhythmic hooks, but they're not the same rhythmic hook from the first verse. And there's like this manic energy that I get from like her vocals, not in terms of like manic in terms of the character, but like manic in terms of the energy, especially like when you compare the first verse's energy to the second verse's energy. And it's just like all over the place on how we're talking about like this song kind of has like high energy, low energy, high energy, low energy with the way the music itself is kind of like going on this ebb and flow. So it's also there for her voice as well, which is really, really cool.
It's like verse, post verse, pre-chorus,
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost feels like a different part.
I can see it like that, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
My cats are scratching on the door, so they're like, wrap it up, dude. Come sit on the couch with us and play cozy games.
That's not capricious of them.
No, it's not very capricious of them. I actually don't know what that word means now that we're saying it more. Like, in context, I got it. On its own, it's not a word. Not a word in my head. I should look it up later. Cool. So to find more from Bob Love, they are very active on TikTok. They're not really active on any other socials. But the last release was consistently inconsistent from December 2021. As we've all said, highly recommend checking out the full album of the artist, of Bob Love. Again, that's BXB Love. I'm so glad I looked up how it's pronounced, because I absolutely would have come on here and said BXB Love before.
I appreciate you like disclosing that to us before the show, because I was so ready to say Bixby. I thought it was Bixby.
So
I
British.
I like the name Bixby. Yeah, I love the name Bixby.
I have to be careful saying that out loud, or my Samsung phone is going to respond.
Uh-oh.
It's the name of the Samsung assistant.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We don't know how to end this new format.
And scene.
We're still figuring it out, y'all. Thank you for your help.
Thanks for tuning in. Loved the chat this session. Very, very good comments. Yeah.
Gold star, chat.
Gold star.
You're the ace.
Thank you.
Stickers all around.
Today was a lot of fun. I appreciate everyone that showed up, especially in such short notice. And other than that, I'm looking forward to the year to come, the episodes to come, the music that we are going to share together. And go on, take care, be well, drink your diet soda of choice. I can't say any because we're not sponsored, and I don't want to feel that of. I'm happy that we are back.
Really. All right. Oh, we're now. Are we every other week? That's I think.
I think you're free next week, so we might do next week. We're figuring it out, y'all.
We're figuring it out.
But we'll probably end up settling into an every other week sort of schedule.
Yeah, cool. We're trying to be healthy about it this season. It's not
capricious.
Capricious.
We're trying to not have Kay stay up until like 3 a.m. to finish editing podcasts. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So just releases and episodes are gonna be a little more chill schedule wise. But yeah, next week we can do it again. And yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, the album! It's the album!
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting! Share it with us.
Don't
lose.
Harm
Don't
yourself.
break. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, it's so pretty.
There we go.
Is the record a
Wow.
black or a different color?
Oh yeah, it's colored for sure.
It's colored.
It's
But
colored.
what color, we don't know.
I mean, what other color would it be?
Ooh.
Oh,
Love it.
It's so pretty.
Well, that's only side A.
What's side B?
Side B.
This is an album unboxing. It's free content.
Yeah, side B.
Oh, the pretty blue.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you could use it for like a gender reveal party as much as
Yeah. We'll let the
side
baby.
of-
We'll let the baby decide. We'll put both of the albums out, and then wherever the baby walks to, that's
Oh,
that's
that's
the
way
gender.
cuter. I like that.
Adorbs.
Yeah.
Like in Tinkerbell. Has anybody watched the Disney Tinkerbell kids movies? Just me? They're excellent.
Are they?
Did you know they exist?
I think part of my brain did, and then but was not interested. So
There's
Oh my God,
like
they're so good.
there's like multiple fairies, right?
Yeah, it's like all
Okay.
about Tinkerbell and her fellow fairies.
Okay,
and you
yes,
get to see
I'm-
like Tinkerbell be birthed.
Yeah.
Not like
I-
be birthed, but like from the baby's lap thing.
you
Yeah.
guys has a comment. What gender are
Is
you?
it about
Side A or
Tinkerbell?
side B?
I love that.
That's great.
We don't support gender binaries here. What's the third option?
Shuffle. All right. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good week.